Oh, wait, no longer greatness has arrived. Welcome to episode 433 of the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players. I'm your host, Joseph, aka Mr. Badbit, and it is here where we chat about the latest, the greatest in all things PlayStation each and every week. This week, we chat about Neil Druckmann stepping away from the Last of Us HBO show. Xbox is the strongest it's ever been and lays off thousands, in our game of the year so far, and so much more as we do it live each and every Wednesday night at youtube.com/PS Trophy Room and twitch.tv/PS Trophy Room and podcast services around the globe. That said, before I introduce the greatest co-host, whoever will be, Kyle Stevenson, guess what, dude?
What?
I already messed up a little bit.
What
I
do you
forgot in Streamlabs to have our recording separate. So if the audio sounds a little funky, that's my bad. You know,
It's fine.
It's my vacation week, and I done flubbed. You know,
We've been doing this 8 years. You're allowed to oopsie.
yeah, I'm allowed one oopsie every once in a while. That said, Kyle Stevenson, how you feeling, bud?
Tired. I'm happy it's a 3-day weekend for
Yeah.
me here in the States.
Yep.
That's the only thing I'm grateful for here in the States.
Everything's great.
You know,
Everything is awesome.
That's right. What are you talking about?
especially when you're part of a team, and I'm happy
Exactly.
that the team here. I'm
Yes.
happy to be here.
Yes.
Cue the flames around all of us and
Everything's
saying
fine.
this is fine.
This is fine. That said, Kyle Stevenson, you get one guess. I said it in the pre-show. That's why you got to catch us live. That I'm going on a day trip. Where am I going to?
What are your exact coordinates?
North Jersey.
Mm. You're going to Six Flags for the water park.
Oh my God,
Ooh.
that's a good guess.
But I'm wrong. Damn.
The lightweight herself, Tegan. Where do you think I'm going? Day trip.
I don't know the coordinates of this, so it might be the wrong area. But
Sure.
the only part of Jersey I know is like the boardwalk of the Jersey Shore.
That's good.
Oh, that's right. Jim Tan Laundry T is correct. I'm going to Seaside tomorrow.
Oh, sweet.
So I'm gonna
The cabs are
enjoy the
here.
rains. I don't know what that means.
You've never seen Jersey Shore?
Not even once.
You're
How are you
kidding
from
me.
Jersey and you've never seen the Jersey Shore?
It's an abomination to this state.
That's why you have to watch it.
Joe, we were talking about pre-show of like how you can blend in public.
Right.
Jim Tan Laundry. There you go.
I said you could pass as Italian American.
Yeah.
You got to get their
Sure.
accent. They'll never know.
Exactly.
I mean, I already got
Can
the
I
New
see
Jersey
your fist
flair.
pumping moves? Can your dance move?
This is
There you go.
This
Beat
is
up
it.
the beat. You got
Okay.
it.
Somebody scream. All I need, grow out the hair, ice the tips.
Yeah.
I
You
think
don't
I'm
even
in.
have to ice the tips.
No.
Just grow it
Okay.
out.
Get a nice like
Alright.
thick gold chain.
Fair
A
enough.
deeper V-neck.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Buy a shirt that says Italia and it's the Italian flag.
Become a DJ.
This can work.
Mhm.
This can work. Suki's not even Italian, right?
I
It's
don't
like
know.
she's
Not
like
the same.
Polish or something. Yeah.
She wrestled at our WrestleMania once, by the way.
Did she really?
She did.
Yes,
she
she
did.
did.
Oh, that must have been a proud moment for y'all.
Okay, so she's Chilean, but she was raised by Italian American parents. She
Okay,
was
so
born in Santiago, Chile.
I feel like I could blend in.
That's your
If she could do it, I could
backstory.
do
That's your backstory. If you get stopped, no sir, no sir. I'm Italian American, adopted
That's
by
right.
Italian American. Actually, you can't even say that because you'll still get the boot.
Exactly. So it's like I walk in here,
I
and they're like, oh,
Yeah. See, I
oh,
can't do
he
Jersey.
passes. Got it. Listen, that said, we got a lot to talk about, gang. Okay, we got a lot
Italian.
to talk about. That's right. I gotta say it like it, But before we do, our Patreon pitch, of course, like we say each and every week, the reason why we look so good, sound so great, usually, is because of your amazing generosity over at patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. It's the literal reason why we were able to do this 8 years running is because of your support. We don't do any of those ads. It's all fan funded over at patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. Thank you all so much. That said, I want to thank our newest members, Brett Griffin at the bronze tier, Arlie Upper 90 at the silver tier, and Caleb Cook at the platinum tier. I want to thank our premium producers, Todd Burowitz and Toxic, and K-Rock's Kiddo Cullen. I want to thank our platinum members, JC, Jedi Master Ren, Cowboy Danger D, Jonas Young, The Green Gorilla Gamer, Chaotic Monkey, Vyuko Keel 90, Stephen Flesh, Shrubbles and Bits, A. Aaron, Bertos Maximus, Tommy, Chris, Hybrid 748, Matt Valdez, Silkenet, Decimine, Mitchell Gramling, Mike Thomas, and the Enchanted Girl. Our gold members, Cypher Primus, Darth Simon the Pie Man, Jesse Garcia, JB the Purple Monkey, Hyde and Doors, Katie. Trying to find my place again. I lost it.
It's like, how long is she falling for?
It's an endless pit. Star Wars reference. Kevin Diaz, Marcus O'Neill, Red Arrow, Ageless Hermit, Androsaur, Astronaut Jr., The Winter Gamer, Stingray X, Robbie Bobby Miller himself, Brenton Zachary, Final Fan XZ, Hambone, JD Dillinger, Stone Cold ET, Tino Six Speed, N. Johnson, Sean McKenzie, Rick Arrington, Solo, Matthew King, The Overlord, Dewane Raksha, Drellish, Rick Davis, Steph Mildener, Samuel Nessling, Maximum Carnage, Michael Hassett, Drug Prowlin Wolf, Manix Vizia, Jazz and Bren, Tristan Wonderland, Battered Haddock, and the Lord Commander. So thank you all so much. It's the reason why we look so good, sound so great. The reason why we're able to go to PAX and SGF is because of your generosity over at patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. And what about our YouTube members, Kyle Stevenson?
They're growing. We got a nice little member community over on YouTube.
Yes,
Shout out to
yes.
Tommy, Shrubbles and Bits, Pops Arcade, The Kush Completionist, Nisa Hauer, and Freight Conductor. So go ahead and join us over on YouTube, become a member, get a cool little trophy next to your name, and chat and hang out with us live every single Wednesday for the pre-show. It's a fun time.
It's a fun time. We guessed the game. We talked about
Light and I guessed the game. You have retired from the game.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I gotta type in stuff. I gotta do some producing. That said, listen, before we get into this news, a little bit of like context. Okay. It's a bit of a slower news week for PlayStation, so we turn our eye to the broader video game landscape, and one that seems pretty darn bleak as something pretty major, not pretty, something absolutely major and devastating has rocked the industry and thousands of folks in it. So that's why we're going to be talking about our first topic today, is because it's kind of bigger than PlayStation, it's kind of bigger than all of us. And so as it pertains to Xbox and Microsoft gaming, also there's so many people impacted that we felt the need to talk about it today. So Kyle Stevenson, let's square up the news, buddy.
The first one, as Joe said, was a big one, and it's been trickling out all day today. It was rumored for a long time that this was happening. So let's just get right on into it. Following the rumors of reductions that first began last week, Microsoft is set to lay off more than 9,000 employees worldwide Wednesday, including some in the Microsoft Gaming/Xbox division. Variety has confirmed the number of staff impacted is under 4% of Microsoft's global workforce, which totals approximately 228,000 employees. Quote, "We continue to implement organizational and workforce changes that are necessary to position the company and teams for success in a dynamic marketplace," a Microsoft spokesperson said Wednesday. "To position gaming for enduring success and allow us to focus on strategic growth areas, we will end or decrease work in certain areas of the business and follow Microsoft's lead in removing layers of management to increase agility and effectiveness," Microsoft Gaming Chief Phil Spencer said in a memo to staff Wednesday morning. "Out of respect for those impacted today, the specific of today's notifications and any organizational shifts will be shared by your team leaders in the coming days," end quote. Microsoft is scrapping 2 upcoming video games, a reboot of Perfect Dark and the fantasy title Everwild, in addition to ending development on several unannounced projects, which this is me interjecting here, including the ZeniMax upcoming MMO RPG that wasn't announced yet, but has been in the works since 2018. It's also shutting down Perfect Dark Studio, the initiative. And then, Joe, while I read Phil's memo, do you mind
Please.
telling me what the source of this is so we can properly shout it out?
I would love that. It comes from Variety. The
Cool.
reason why I'm looking around my desk is my battery to my mouse died.
Oh, no. Well, here's what Phil said to the Xbox staff. So this is all one big long quote. This comes straight from Phil Spencer. Today, we are sharing decisions that will impact colleagues across our organization. To position gaming for enduring success and allow us to focus on strategic growth areas, we will end or decrease work in certain areas of the business and follow. That was the same thing from before. I'm going to skip ahead. I recognize that these changes come at a time when we have more players, games, and gaming hours than ever before. Our platform, hardware, and game roadmap have never looked stronger. The success we are seeing currently is based on tough decisions we've made previously. We must make choices now for continued success in future years, and a key part of that strategy is the discipline to prioritize the strongest opportunities. We will protect what is thriving and concentrate effort on areas with the greatest potential while delivering on the expectations the company has for our business. This focused approach means we can deliver exceptional games and experiences for players for generations to come. Prioritizing our opportunities is essential, but that does not lessen the significance of this moment. Simply put, we would not be where we are at today without the time, energy, and creativity of those whose roles are impacted. These decisions are not a reflection of the talent, creativity, and dedication of the people involved. Our momentum is not accidental. It is the result of years of dedicated effort from our teams. HR is working directly with impacted employees to provide severance plan benefits aligned with local laws, including pay, healthcare coverage, and job placement resources to support their transition. Employees whose roles were eliminated are encouraged to explore open positions across Microsoft Gaming, where their applications will be given priority review. Thank you to everyone who has shaped our culture, our products, and our community. We will move forward with deep appreciation and respect for all who have contributed to this journey.
All right, Kyle Stevenson. That's a lot.
I really wanted to blow a raspberry into the mic because that's what
Yeah.
I feel about this whole situation.
Yeah, man.
There's so many things that just make me so angry.
It just looks bleak out there. Right?
Yeah, very dystopian of like, hey, Microsoft is making tons of money. We're the
7
strongest
billion.
we've ever been.
Quarter.
We made like 70 billion in revenue or something. I'll find the article when I can.
Something
but
dumb, yeah.
It's a crazy amount of money. But hey, we're gonna lay off these folks. But don't worry. If you want to still work at Microsoft Gaming, you are encouraged to apply to our open positions. Why didn't you just relocate them in the first place?
Right.
Why are you telling these people that are getting laid off and the way that it seemed like it was, where they're just shutting down their Slack and lock them out and don't really give them any notice ahead of time? As somebody that did get laid off and let go, it is soul crushing. I still deal with it every day. Any minor thing that goes wrong in my day to day, I think, well, it's happening again. It is so soul crushing and devastating. And to then go through this and hear like, oh, we have open positions that you can apply to. You're going to get priority at these. Like, go fuck off. Like, I don't understand. I just don't. I don't understand why we've let go so many amazing talent, not just here at Xbox, but throughout gaming the last few years. It's insane. It cannot keep up. And it's awful. It's just awful.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I bet there's going to be some PlayStation podcasts that go, oh, I told you so. But like, look at what's happened with PlayStation the last, year and a half, right? There's closures out of Bend. There's layoffs out of Bungie. There's studio closures with things like PlayStation Studios in London.
Insomniac had layoffs, right?
Right. Insomniac shipped a very successful game. Wasn't successful enough to see layoffs. Like, it's this vicious cycle that keeps repeating, even when you go off and say, hey, we're the most profitable we've ever been, but my boss needs us to trim the fat so that we could pay for this AI initiative that's not going well. It's not good. It's just not a good look. It aggravates me to no end. That said, like, what was your initial reactions when you saw this as I scrambled to try to find a micro USB cord? Those still exist, you might ask? I'm wondering the same thing. Go for it, T.
I I just honestly, I just shook my head and kept scrolling because it's like I feel like this is happening all the time. Every other week we are having the same conversation and it is so frustrating because I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. At what point do we hit the lowest threshold we can possibly hit? And what like why are companies making these decisions? Like I I don't understand how you can be making a profit and still laying off your workers. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Kyle, because I could misunderstand this, but it seemed like a long time ago at this point. Sometimes there would be layoffs after a game was shipped because they were starting a new project from scratch. They didn't need all of the people like or they didn't renew contracts of contractors or things like that. So that was always semi-normal, um, but not nearly to this scale. And I think it was more so like, hey, I had a contract here and they didn't renew it because we were done with this project and they
Mhm.
don't need me yet for another project. But it's like, why there has to be a different solution. Our first our first decision shouldn't be to lay off our staff. And that's from an outsider's perspective, that's what it seems like. It doesn't seem like they're trying to do other things to keep the people that rely on them
Yep.
for their safety, security of, like, living conditions. Like, because
Yeah.
it doesn't take much to completely screw over somebody's life. Like, I know that sounds dramatic, but for a lot of Americans right now, missing one paycheck is financially ruining.
Yep.
Like,
Mhm.
losing your health insurance is really fucking expensive. I pay for it out
Yep.
of pocket. I pay over $800 a month out of pocket for my health insurance. If you don't have a job, you can't afford that. So now you're looking at no health insurance, and it's hard for you to get hired somewhere else in the industry because everywhere is having layoffs. It's not just Xbox, like Joe said, and it's not just the gaming industry, it's every industry. So it's like, why are we not trying to find other solutions first? And maybe they are, and we're just not privy to those conversations, but it doesn't feel like it because you're always saying, oh, this executive got a bonus.
Yep.
Oh, this like it's frustrating. And I feel like I say the same thing every single time. And it's just like, what else can we possibly do or say?
Yep.
Because like, what the
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah.
Two things there. Like you are right. It usually back in the day, layoffs would have happened after a game has shipped, and either contracts are not renewed or a project did terribly, so they're downsizing that team. But at least the game was seen through to the end.
Mhm.
It definitely probably did happen, but it was definitely less commonplace than it is the last 5 years or so. Also, just this is the revenue numbers. I'm pulling this from gamesindustry.biz back in on May 1st. Sophie McAvoy writes, for the 3 months ending on March 31st, 2025, Microsoft and or just Microsoft in general, made $70.1 billion, up 13%. In personal computing, including Xbox, $13.4 billion, up 6% year on year. The operating income of Microsoft was 32 billion, which did go up 16%, but the net income was 25.8 billion dollars. So they're making tons of money.
Yeah.
So like keeping all these people on board is probably, I don't want to say this lightly, but like a drop in a bucket for them. Yeah, it's wild.
It's wild just to see a stock price probably go up, which is probably what happened, right? It's all about the short-term gains and not so much about the far-term gains. Like when I first saw this news and we were hearing it for over a week that more layoffs were coming and it was across the board, I was genuinely thinking, okay, these are going to be smaller scale. We're thinking things in Europe that redundancies that we still may have, and that is definitely in there. Like some of like ZeniMax Europe, you don't genuinely need anymore. But I was thinking, oh, this is probably other divisions because we've gone through what is it, like 3 or 4 waves of this. This has to be it. And the fact that it isn't and it's still so deep. And I think part of me can understand them. You take a look at like Rare's Everwild. That thing's been in development for over 10 years. It's like, okay, that was something that was genuinely not working, but you still showed it off. And it's one of those lost pieces of, games that never were. We've seen those every once in a while, right? From both Microsoft, Xbox, and Nintendo. And then, you get one where it's like out of goddamn nowhere with Perfect Dark. And you're like, you just showed me that. And we all said this looks freaking awesome. And that's out. You see Turn 10, who's been a very reliable partner to Xbox, the Forza Motorsport series, they're out. And then even to places where you feel like it would be detrimental if they let go anybody, like Raven and some support studios at Call of Duty. It's like, okay, so these cuts are genuinely like, I think those cuts were telling. It's like, trim the fat where you can, because my boss has this initiative, AI initiative, that's been going south for a minute now. And so we need to cut in order to pay for the failures of this other division. And it just seems so, and when you go, wow, that is stupid and seems counterproductive, it's because it is. And so I'm at a gas. Dwayne Roxer would like this when I saw this news, I was like, fuck me dead. This makes no fucking sense. And it's aggravating. Like the first half of what Phil says, it's like, hey guys, we're in the best position than ever because of you guys. And it's like, great. And your guys are out. It's like, what?
I think that also is a huge reason why this makes me so angry, and every time this happens it's angry, is who decided on the corporate speak of like, well, we're becoming more nimble, like we're reassessing where other areas and blah 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 blah. Don't, like, stop it.
Right.
That no amount of like sugarcoating it is going to make anyone reading this feel any different, because I would like to think everyone can read through the bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, so I put out a post over on Blue Sky. Crazy Juan writes in, it's not tone deaf at all. People are just confused about who it's for. It's not for those affected at all. It's for the shareholders, making it all, quote, good news. Like we're off. So we're well off and we're cutting costs too. Pew, 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 pew. It's disgusting as fuck, but it's very tailored to the real audience. And that's genuinely what it is. You see every time one of these big AAA games or game companies come out with these tailored responses, it's not towards us, because we know it's for them.
I do. Oh, sorry, Joe. Go ahead.
No, you go for it.
I was just going to say, I do wonder how much this has to do with the rebrand isn't the right word, but like the new path they're planning on taking with focusing more on our games are going to be everywhere, less on hardware. This is an Xbox, that is an Xbox, everything, whatever. How much of that is they're having to restructure because they are going on this new path? So it's ugly and it's awful. And I agree, they still should have tried to keep as many of those people and put them into different slots that they would have been successful in.
Yeah.
But we saw, I don't know the numbers, but the Xbox sales for the hardware compared to the PlayStation sales, they were way under. We always say PlayStation won this generation, right? And we do know that they're trying to shift to, obviously they just announced the handheld, but they're trying to shift more to, we're not going to be console exclusives. Our game's going to be everywhere. You're going to be able to play it on your fridge. You're going to be able to play it on your TV. You're going to be able, whatever you want to play it. So I wonder how much of that is Xbox is shifting to something new. Not that it makes it okay. Not that it makes it me agree with it. But I feel like if they are genuinely taking this new, like, okay, we're going to focus less on an actual Xbox, more on a digital, whatever path we're going on, they kind of do need to figure out what employees are going to be where, what they actually need, what they don't need. So not that that's okay, but it might make a little bit more sense if we're
Right.
like, okay, this is a new path they're going on.
I agree with you there. And we even said it last episode. It's like, actually, like the future that Xbox is kind of charting out is actually pretty exciting. In terms of like, hey, what if you didn't have to buy the same game on your Steam Deck that you owned on your PlayStation? It's just all in one place. That's cool. And I totally get where your head's at too, because it's like, yeah, at the same exact time, while Microsoft gaming is doing really well, when we take a look at the console versus console, where they're at right now, Xbox stopped reporting console numbers years ago because they're behind in a dramatic sense. And this is very much, and not an original thought, shout out to Jordan Midler where I saw first, but it's like we're still seeing the repercussions of Xbox losing the Xbox One generation to PlayStation as they're scrambling to find, okay, where's the area that we can actually be dominant in, because it sure as hell isn't consoles right now. The subscription service thing came and went. As much as I love Game Pass, I think it's great, and I don't need to care about if it's profitable, whatever. I don't care, right? But it came and went. That was me trying to play both sides, and they're both gonna yell at me. And now we're switching to this play everywhere, and it's just like, it seems like Xbox leadership doesn't know which way's up right now. And the people that are suffering are the people that are literally from 2 plans ago where they were at. Because I bet if Game Pass was the future that they really wanted it to be, when that plan was a reality, I doubt Perfect Dark would be canceled. I doubt Everwild would be canceled. I doubt, look, Compulsion Games just announced that they had some layoffs as well. And they weren't concerned because, hey, your Game Pass, they hired us for this or bought us for this specific reason. So it just feels like it's like Xbox's problem is the Xbox of past, where it's just constantly haunted by the failures of one generation into another, and now still trying to find its footing. I don't know. What say you, Kyle Stevenson?
A couple things.
Yeah, go for it.
One, I do want to point out where to go. So can it comment in chat? Who decided to balloon the number of employees too? If it's too much to be sustainable, why is high management still in place? That is a huge point of like, these people are obviously ballooning budgets and adding and not keeping it the way they need to, and they need to be held accountable as well. But I also do want to highlight Alex's comment as well of many of the cuts that were at Activision Studios too. If I read the report right, they're probably consolidating Xbox and Activision roles. It's happened to me before during a corporate buyout.
Yeah.
You are 100% correct, and they also did this last year too.
Right.
They were also consolidating from that big buyout. So at what point are they done consolidating, and at what point do we realize they just did this buyout for the IP?
Yeah.
Because like at what point is Activision Blizzard King just going to be 2 or 3 studios?
Yeah.
And they're just going to be churning in and out the IP. Like,
and I think we're coming to that conclusion too, because Alex, you're right. I mean, like, a lot of the layoffs are at Activision, and even when we say that, it's like 10% of King. That was the reason why you told the FTC why you needed them in the first place, was to buy King. And so, like, for me, that is, as much as I agree, we've seen this before, and part of it is the sad reality of things. To see it just everywhere and not just at the Activision part really hurts. That said, Dark Zone 2525 writes, King, Ravens Software, Turn 10, Rare, High Moon, Sledgehammer Games, and more. Microsoft's decision will have far-reaching impact worldwide, with many employees, including tenured staff. And I want to highlight the tenured staff, because for me, that's where it hurts the most. Like, if you asked me 72 hours ago, when people were arguing about like, oh, the identity of Xbox, because we had 2 former staff, one who's now the CEO of a gambling thing, talking about like, oh, I don't know the identity of Microsoft anymore. It's like, well, now there's an argument, because we keep on laying off tenured staff, people with decades of experiences, at these corporate offices. And again, it's not just here, it's at PlayStation, it's at EA, it's at Ubisoft, it's everywhere.
Mhm.
You're losing what makes these companies special because of you have to see your share price go up, and it makes genuinely to the creatives and to the people that actually love video games hurt.
Yeah,
You know,
I was
to see
going to
that.
bring that up too, to tie it back into
Go
PlayStation
for it.
of like, we are finally seeing the repercussion of Jim Ryan wanting everything be a live service. And all these
Exactly.
live service things at PlayStation, where what does PlayStation do well? Single player or narrative games.
Yep.
Or once in a while they'll do something outside the box, which is fine. And I want them to go a little bit more outside of the box. But having that, forcing them to kind of like, everything needs a live service element. Or like, Blue Point, you're going to make a God of War live service game.
Yeah.
Bend, you're also going to make a live service. Like, it just stop chasing trends and kind of do
Someone in the comments,
reiterate on what you do best, kind of.
yeah. Someone in the comments last week said it perfectly. They're like, the warning sign out of what Herman Hulse was saying was like, when regarding to games and studios was content, content, content. He never once mentioned fun. And that's what we're losing with how everything's become so corporatized, is we're losing the soul and what makes these games so special at these decorated studios that we once loved, and now we're knocking on the door going, hey guys, Naughty Dog, it's been a minute. Right? And it sucks to see. I don't know. Any closing thoughts there, T? Anything you want to add?
No, the only other thing, like, it just, again, we also talk about the development cycle for a lot of these games too. Like, obviously, I love Bethesda. I love Elder Scrolls. We haven't gotten a new Elder Scrolls in, I don't even know the math anymore, how many years. Like, many, many years. And I know they did Starfield, so obviously they were working on something. It's not like they haven't given us anything. But I feel like there are a lot of franchises that are established IPs that could do well. So if you want to focus on the money, keep adding to those franchises, like on the PlayStation side. Why am I blanking on the name? Uncharted. We haven't gotten a new Uncharted game in a really long time. And we keep seeing games release with these huge, 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 huge budgets.
Yeah.
Clearly, these things are not sustainable, and that sucks. But we don't have COVID numbers anymore, COVID income anymore. We have to find our new reality, and maybe we need to tone down the scale of the games that we're making, tone down the size of the games that we're making so that we can release them sooner. Maybe that would help a little bit. I don't know. I'm not in that side of the business, obviously, but I mean, when we're talking 15 plus years for a game that could give you good money because it's an established franchise, an established IP,
Right.
why are we spending such a big amount of money and taking that much time? Like, yes, we want the game to be good, but huge does not necessarily equate to good.
Yeah.
And I think we need to go, we always say like the AA game, but also like realizing that one of the best Uncharted games for people is one, 2, or 3, and those were much smaller than 4. And look at the success of Oblivion. That was much smaller than Skyrim. Like, we don't necessarily need to have these huge, huge games with these huge, huge, huge budgets. We've clearly hit our ceiling there. So let's maybe be done with the layoffs and regroup on the type of games that we're making until we have the money that we feel we need.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, Jonathan Kelly writes, while I love my 100 plus hour playtime game with tons of replayability, if the story is crap, what's the point of playing the huge game if it's just a ton of collection and escort missions? And I think like that's the other thing. It's like, yeah, like I'm loving Death Stranding. I've put 60 hours into it. I'm a madman. But then there's the other reality of like, while that game's great, I bet Expedition 33, when you take a look at like money spent versus how much that game sold to Kepler, is much more of a success to Kepler than Death Stranding is to PlayStation, right? So it's like part of it's like, yeah, nailing down the scope, showing like there has to be a lesson out of games like Expedition 33, games like Balatro, games like Baldur's Gate, that the AAA studio the AAA studio culture can take from them. There just has to be something that is to learn from them, because it seems like these quote unquote smaller games, where you don't need the 100 hours, or sometimes you do, but like these smaller budgeted games that know what they are and unabashedly who they are doing far better than their AAA counterparts. Like,
Mhm.
again, Expedition 33, great example. Ex Ubisoft devs, they wanted to go out and make this turn-based RPG. Ubisoft's like in your wildest dreams, and then they went and they found the funding and they made it. So, there has to be something that PlayStation, Microsoft, the whole large AAA studios can learn from AA right now, because it seems like they're not learning them, or at least not fast enough.
Yeah.
I
Like
don't know.
Nisa points out, Obsidian put out 3 games this year, or is putting out 3 games this year. And if we look at Obsidian's track record, people are loving their games. Like I know Outer Worlds, like some people didn't necessarily love it, but a lot of people did. Look at
Right.
Pentiment. Pentiment is like this just work of art that's a 10 out of 10 across the board.
Yep.
Really small scale, a passion project. Like we can, I don't know. I feel like there are just we need to adjust as an industry and stop having our first reaction be, oh yeah, keep making these huge games, keep making these big budgets, and then we'll just lay people off.
Yeah. And I mean, again, Tommy highlights what is a very complicated issue, because it's not like a band-aid type fix. To be fair, I read without Game Pass, Expedition 33 wasn't going to be the game it became. So it's like, yeah, there are those like victories that we see out of Game Pass. There are victories that we see out of like bigger budgeted studios, like again, like Baldur's Gate 3. So it's not like a one size fits all approach, but there's just something that Expedition, again, Baldur's Gate, the Balatros, these AA games that do really well are doing that these big AAA games aren't. And it makes me worried for the future of my Naughty Dog, my Sucker Punch, my Santa Monica, all those type of games, when it seems like they have to hit this astronomical number. Like, again, going back to Spider-Man 2, having to hit 9 million units sold just to break even. Something's got to give there. Something's got to give.
And I genuinely do love Game Pass. I think Game Pass is a good thing to focus on. And I do this, like, it's kind of backwards thinking, but I do think that the fact that Xbox is really pushing into the play everywhere shows that Game Pass is doing really well, because I don't think they would be doing that if Game Pass wasn't highly successful for them, because I think Game Pass is what they use for the play everywhere. Oh, you're going to get this handheld? Game Pass. Oh, you're going to play on this Roku stick on your TV? Game Pass. Oh, you're going to play on your refrigerator? Game Pass. Like, I think that's
this cool new VR headset that's top of the line. Hey, guess what? You can play Game Pass on it.
So I really do think this new trajectory we're seeing is because of the success of Game Pass. And I do think we see a lot of games finding a lot of success because of Game Pass. Like, not the only reason they're successful. Obviously, Expedition 33 is an amazing game with or without Game Pass. But I do think there is good there. There's great there. We just have to figure out how to balance it all now with this new strategy.
Yeah. And I think Dark Zone again comes in with a great point. Companies need to stop showing games too early. I was looking forward to Perfect Dark. I mean, that too. It's like, dude, Everwild, shit, 10 plus years. Like, I mean, look at Pragmata. That beginning of the PlayStation 5. Like,
I do also, and I'm going to say something extremely hypocritical.
Please.
And we're not perfect. I will 1000% complain about this at some point in the future, because I'm human and it's whatever.
Fair enough.
But we as fans of games also need to not be so pushy and upset when we don't see things. Making games are hard, and us clamoring for it on social media and being like upset when games aren't being shown,
right,
also adds pressure on their end of like, we have to get it done. And putting pressure on the shareholders then when they see people are outraged that they aren't seeing it, and then the shareholders be like, oh, what's going on here, blah blah blah. It's a vicious cycle all around, and we are all complicit in it. So as much as I am frustrated that we haven't seen a lot from PlayStation's side of things, I know I need to get better at not being so upset at that, because making games are extremely hard.
Yeah.
And whatever they have to show is what they have to show, and we should just be thrilled and happy that we live in a timeline where video games are where they are. Because
Yeah.
like I can't imagine playing before video games or living before video games. It's wild to me.
Stick in a hoop couldn't be me.
Exactly. What are you talking about? I have to play with playing cards all day.
I don't know. I do love some dominoes.
Now you know
Give me
that's
some
fair.
dominoes.
I take that back. Board
Happy.
games are also
Yeah.
pretty rad, but
yeah, they're damned if they do, damned if they don't in
Yeah.
the consumer eyes. And I'm just as guilty as that. Like I'm pretty sure we're all hypocrites at that. Like on one hand,
Yeah.
don't show it to us so early, because then it's a tease, like Elder Scrolls 6 giving us the tease 15 years ago or however
Wolverine.
long it was. Wolverine 5 years ago. Like, okay, don't give that to us. Or even Perfect Dark. Like they teased that before many years before we even got a full first trailer. And then on the other hand, it's like, where's this game? Why haven't we heard anything about this game? Just give us something about this game. Like there is a medium ground there, but I don't think anyone will agree on where that medium ground is, because you will never know if a game's actually going to ship until it ships.
like,
So
would we have been so upset if Factions 2 just got quietly canceled and we didn't even know it was a thing? But the fact that we saw promo art and they were talking about it, it was a brand new entry in the Last of Us franchise and universe, and played as new people, blah blah blah.
We have a question about it later. It's nuts.
Like it's just like, if we didn't know about that, and they just waited until they were ready, and then internally they figured it out, like, okay, we're going to just kind of can it, then it'd be one of those things like, oh man, that would have been awesome. But the fact that we saw some of it and it was hyped up the way it was, and we were like on pins and needles, like, oh, is that finally going to show up? And it felt like it was happening, and then it just went away. Like, it's very strange. Very, very strange.
That said, Mr. Light, but she only started loving dominoes because of Red Dead 2. LOL.
Why you gotta call me out like that?
Dan, also, I would like your thoughts. If you could text me your thoughts on Rainey from Death Stranding 2, respectfully.
Also, Dan should have been on this episode. He's literally a finance guy.
Yeah, you're finance.
Why am I here? Why am I here? I don't know shit about numbers. I failed math class. Okay.
Is he the one in charge of the corporate speak? Because I have words. Dan, how dare you?
How dare you?
It's all your fault.
Oh, Joe's.
Oh no,
we lost Kyle.
No, Kyle froze. He thought it was me, but it was him all along. All right. That said, Kyle, are you back?
Nope.
Oh, I saw his
Quick
camera
draw
move for a
mustache
second.
on him.
Yeah. Oh, no. He's turning things on and off. He's muting his mic. I'm muting his mic, but we can't hear him. Yeah. At least he's not frozen doing
this
something
conversation is done. I think
Yeah.
that's our cue to move on to.
I think so. Hey, T. Hey, there he is. Hey, T, would you like to read the next story for us? This comes from Blue Sky over at Wario64. This is a quote from Neil himself.
All right. Wario64 over on Blue Sky says Neil Druckmann is stepping away from the Last of Us TV show to, quote, transition complete focus, end quote, on game development. Quote, I've made the difficult decision to step away from my creative involvement in The Last of Us on HBO, Druckmann said in a statement. Quote, with work completed on season 2 and before any meaningful work starts on season 3, now is the right time for me to transition my complete focus to Naughty Dog and its future projects, including writing and directing our exciting next game, Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet, along with my responsibilities as studio head and head of creative. He added, quote, co-creating the show has been a career highlight. It's been an honor to work alongside Craig Mazin to executive produce, direct, and write on the last 2 seasons. I'm deeply thankful for the thoughtful approach and dedication the talented cast and crew took to adapting The Last of Us Part 1 and the continued adaptation of The Last of Us Part 2.
So, interesting. Daddy D. Wally, there you go. I gave you respect you need. I said your name correctly, sir. Wrote in just like you can write in over at Discord, our Discord server, link down below. Each and every Wednesday, I ask for questions and y'all come in a major way, just like Daddy who writes in. Speaking of this, do you think Neil was asked to step away by HBO, or do you think Sony/Naughty Dog wanted him to refocus on the studio? Or do you think he decided to walk away at this time? He genuinely seemed very excited / happy on working on the show in every interview when discussing the project. It is strange that this decision warranted a post from Naughty Dog. Have a great show. See you guys online. All right. So what's the read here? Do you think Sony pulled him aside? Do you think HBO pulled him aside? What are you guys thinking?
Okay, hold on. There's the tech is wild.
Was that just me?
No, your mic went crazy there.
It was like
for a second. It sounded like we're on an old time radio.
Oh, this is gonna be
get your transatlantic accent on. I'm now, Joe.
I'm gonna say this right now, everyone live chat and listening to the podcast. My internet, whenever it gets close to 9 p.m., the last 3 days have been stuttering like crazy.
Oh boy.
So me getting frozen might happen way more tonight. Who knows? Fingers crossed it doesn't.
What you need to do one of the times is just pretend. It'll be like, oh no, Kyle's frozen. And then it'll be like, oh no, he blinked.
I gotta time it out. Like I'll just randomly flip off the camera and let's hope that it freezes at that point.
Fair enough. Kyle Stevenson, let me know when I started crackling. Type in a time code.
About a minute ago. If you want
okay, about a minute ago. Okay, so 54 minutes. Write that down for everybody. Like, what do you think? The reason why he's walking away, is it because of HBO? Is it because of Sony? Is it because he's tired of the fucking Last of Us complainers? Let me know.
I know he said before any meaningful work starts on season 3, but I think he probably is stepping away because his role of what he was going to do for season 3 is probably pretty much wrapped up. They had their plan from the beginning of what each season was going to be, and while that means yes, he's not actually going to be helping like co-direct or things like that, he probably helped lay the foundation of what each season was going to be. They probably have all that finalized now for season 3. So he's probably like, you know what? You don't need me here anymore. Naughty Dog probably needs me more at this moment. We're trying to launch a game. We're trying to ship a game. So I don't think HBO would have kicked him to the curb. I think either Naughty Dog / Sony said, hey, come back to this now, or he himself was like, I did the majority of what I needed to do. Now I need to focus over here because this is going to be our next big game and we really need to land this, because if we don't / possibly if we do land it but not big enough, we're going to have layoffs.
I mean, Kyle, I see you nodding. You mostly in agreements here?
I am. I think this is a different situation, say another HBO property, Game of Thrones, where they were so far ahead of where the books were and the source material, and they kind of took it upon themselves and told that story, each your own. I don't want to open up that Pandora's box there, even though I thought it was fine. It is what it is. Come at me in the comments. I don't care.
You're fine with who becomes king? Okay. Sure.
I hated the Daenerys line. Don't get me started.
Oh, sure. There are things I disliked. Oh,
they
for
did my
sure.
girl dirty.
Right.
Anyways.
But
listen,
yeah.
But like I would have went crazy if they killed my wife at the gates. Okay. I would have went ham too.
How many wives do you have, Joe?
Many wives. He has a harem.
Listen, I forget her name, but it's like Daenerys' right hand woman. What was her name?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. From she's in the Fast and Furious movies.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
I do agree with Light wholeheartedly. I do. This is different from that, where part 2 is already a completed thing, and I'm sure Neil, I almost called him Nate for some reason, and Neil sat down.
His evil twin brother Nate.
Exactly. Nate Druckmann. Neil sat down with Craig and probably planned out the entire season 3 / season 4, the beats of the game that they still haven't shown off in the game, and gave his thoughts on maybe some offshoot episodes, kind of like how they've been doing. But yeah, like I don't think this is a doom moment for the show. I don't think this is a doom moment for Naughty Dog, because obviously Neil will be back and working on Intergalactic, which I cannot wait for. And again, what we just talked about, take your time, show it whenever you're ready. Just knowing that we're working on a game is enough for me at this point. Yeah, I think it's fine. Also, people need to chill. Season 2 is pretty good.
That's not what the internet says.
The internet sucks.
The
So
internet is always right, don't you know?
Oh man. I was gonna say, do you think neither of you think it's the reaction to season 2?
No.
No. Yeah. I think people outside thought it was fun. and likewise, I think, truthfully, like season 2 was fine. I like some of the changes. I think some of the characters are underserved, but I think that's
for sure.
That's an episode of the after show if I've ever heard of one.
It's that classic. The books are always better. The source material will always be better. Adapting things is extremely hard.
Right.
There's always going to be something left, but
yeah.
You know what's going to be insufferable? The freaking Odyssey movie. People are already so know-it-all-ing and annoying. I'm like, have you actually read the Odyssey? Please shut up. Please shut up.
That was in the Iliad.
Actually, defy the gods is wrong because that's the whole point, not to defy the gods. I'm like, exactly.
I'm just on the side of social media where people are upset that Bill Hader is the Cat in the Hat. Like, that's not my Cat in the Hat. All right, dude.
My Cat in the Hat was creepy.
I hate that revisionist like you're right. Like,
also, I made that up. That's not a real side of the internet. I have not.
Oh, really? I was gonna say because that pushed me over the edge.
Your word. What was the live action Cat in the Hat? I saw that in the movie theater as a kid, and I almost had to leave because I was terrified.
Yeah,
because he was terrifying.
Mike Myers' Cat in the Hat is wild.
Terrifying.
Honestly, I think it's what you guys like. People could read into this whatever they like, but I do think it's like he runs Naughty Dog. He's also one of the creative directors of one of their games, and he's overseeing other projects. So it's like the dude is busy, and I don't think he has it in him to also oversee the show as well. I think you're right. I think they have everything they need, the arcs and everything. I think they know where to take this story. That says, Mrs. Zircon QU writes in, greetings, Trophy Room Cheerio. Give the current state of Bungie, the, let's say, poor choices they have made recently. I'm sticking with the voice. Did Sony make the right decision, make a mistake with Bungie's input on the Factions game? No.
If you get stopped by ICE, there's your accent. You found it. You could never be Hispanic.
That's right. Hello, senor. All right, you're clear.
Get this guy to the loony bin.
Exactly. Forget the alligators. This
Find the grippy socks.
All right. Jokes aside, and terrible. Okay. What do you guys think? The current state of Bungie. Let's say the poor choices they have made. Do you guys think Sony made a mistake canceling or having their input be detrimental to the Factions game? What do you guys think?
No.
Okay, why not, Kyle?
I just feel like, I don't know. They
because
obviously
no.
take apart what we've known post that moment from Bungie.
Mhm.
Marathon crap, the CEOs getting paid a lot of money and being shitty people. They know what a live service game works as with Destiny. They've been pretty successful with that model. Whether or not every expansion is a home run, that's whatever, but they've been going pretty, I would say strong for a long time now.
Okay.
So getting input on a studio that has history in there, I think was smart. But I also feel like if PlayStation heads were at the point of asking for outside people to look at it, they were already questioning it, kind of thing.
Fair.
So I think the writing was probably already on the wall. They were just looking for other opinions on it. I don't think Bungie just walked in and was like, oh, cool, what are you guys working on? Excited to see it. And then they walk out, oh, this was crap. No, I think PlayStation probably asked them to take a look because they had it shortcomings or questions about it and just needed some sort of outside perspective kind of thing.
Yeah. Again, it's what I said when this thing got canceled in the first place. And I stick to it. remember when Last of Us Part 2 was announced, it was like a month before it was supposed to come out in February. They're like, hey, Factions is coming in the next few months. And I think what happened was the project got bigger and bigger. PlayStation's appetite for the type of game they wanted changed, and they're like, hey, this game's already kind of big, could we make it even bigger in its own separate thing that we can sell to people with an IP people love? And it slowly started going faster and faster down this hill until they had something that probably played great, probably, but when input was given of what they would need, I think that input is important, because they're like, oh yeah, we wanted, because even like it sounded so crazy ambitious, right? And I get it, that's why it's exciting, but it's like, hey, we want this live service games as service thing to be super narrative focused. We've heard that song and dance before, and every time those games like a Concord end up not fulfilling those promises. So I think that input was probably necessary, and it's the reason why you're getting Intergalactic instead. Yeah, fair enough. Like, I'm sorry, I steamrolled you there, bud.
No, I completely agree. I think you don't ask Bungie to come in if you don't need help. I think again, it goes back to what I said earlier. Like, if Joe, your thoughts are true, where it kept turning into this bigger and bigger thing. Why do we need it to be bigger and bigger? Let it be small. And maybe it could have launched.
Yeah. Maybe it could have just been a separate DLC thing on The Last of Us Part 2. Like, it would have been a cool little add-on we had at The Last of Us 2 Remastered.
Like, look at Valhalla.
Right? Could have been that. And it maybe started that way. I don't know. I'm just a man, just like Mark Cerny, Kyle Stevenson. The man that wants our ears also wants our attention. Take it away, good sir.
You took my joke. How dare you?
Oh, really? Did I?
Yeah, I was going to reference the ear bit once again.
Sorry, bud.
It's okay. Jordan Midler over at VGC writes, Mark Cerny says PS5 Pro will get its major quote-unquote replacement for the current PSSR, or the pisser, upscaler next year. Earlier this year, it was announced that Sony and AMD have partnered on the Project Amethyst initiative, which is focused on delivering a version of FSR4, AMD's equivalent of NVIDIA's DLSS tech, to the PlayStation 5 Pro. This technology will be similar to Sony's own PSSR tech, which is a machine learning based upscaler, but promises improved results. In an interview with Tom's Guide, Cerny discussed the upcoming tech, which he called a, quote, drop-in replacement for the current PSSR, end quote. According to Cerny, he expected the advancement in technology to take years to come to fruition, but due to the collaboration between the two companies, they have managed to develop a substantially improved upscaling algorithm in just a few years and expect to release it publicly in 2026. Quote, it's not a cut-down version of the algorithm, he explained. It's the full-fat version of the co-developed super resolution that we'll be releasing on PS5 Pro, end quote. Cerny also discussed Sony's ongoing relationship with AMD, which has seen both companies collaborating on advancements in graphical tech. According to Cerny, the two companies are closer now than they were during the development of the PS5 and the PS5 Pro. Quote, this is not for proprietary technology, Cerny explained. This is really trying to move the industry forward. Obviously, we want to use these technologies on our consoles, but these technologies are available to any of AMD's customers freely, end quote.
Hey, T, I'm going to come to you first with this one.
Yeah.
You and I both don't know a thing about what Kyle was just saying.
Nope.
What do you think the odds of them just giving up?
You can add me to that. I don't know what this means.
Good. All right, good. So we get to talk educated about this. What do you think? Hey, what are the over/under on PlayStation dropping the pisser because people kept on saying pisser?
Once again, I don't think you know what over/under means.
I forget every time you tell me.
Typically, you have to give a number and then say over/under. Right. You can't just say
over/under 5. Let me see your hands. Jokes.
Oh,
okay.
That's an over/under.
Okay, fair enough. What do you got? What do you guys think? You think they dropped the pisser because of the name?
I didn't think so.
Oh, dang.
I think they use the memes to help sell.
That's fair.
But don't ask me any questions about upscaling because I got nothing for you.
I
Sounds
mean,
good. Cool.
the first question I had for this, Light, and I'm gonna bring this to your attention too, because we're both in that same zone of like, do I wait for a new PS5 Pro?
Mm-hmm.
Is this something that could just be updated digitally, like in a patch or something, or
Mm-hmm.
do I have to wait for this new chip or whatever? Like,
Yeah, so good question. This will come to all PlayStation 5 Pros in the future.
Okay, so I can just buy one now and I'll be good.
Right. Now here's the thing.
okay.
Here's where here's where I toss the ball over to you guys. Why buy a PlayStation 5 Pro right now? Why not just wait for a PlayStation 6 where you're gonna have an
Don't
updated
say that.
pisser
Because
Uh-huh.
we're another couple years out for PlayStation 6 and
Sure.
mine is going and I don't know if it can through 5 more years.
Kyle Stevenson.
Yeah,
Is yours also making the
no, I can't even attempt at that noise. That was great. Like, yeah, no, I'm not waiting that long.
And
I'm
because
the-
I
I'm
want
the-
one.
Yeah.
I
Also-
feel left out and like a second class gamer.
Also, the sole purpose of like, I started Death Stranding 2. I want to see what that Pro can do for it.
Dude, it's
You know?
fucking nuts. Yeah. Here's the thing. when I see articles like this, I know like we have a responsibility because we're a PlayStation show. But when I read things like this, it's like, please don't make me understand this because like this is why I'm not a PC guy. I
Don't
don't
make me learn things. Don't like.
Don't make my brain grow.
exactly.
I don't want to read words.
I had to squint at this wire to find a replacement. I was like, is this micro or mini USB? I didn't know. So like, this is cool. It's a free upgrade. It's not like something you have to, buy a new thing for. So yeah, it's cool.
Yay, free.
Yay. All right, everybody. There has been no Flash news unless Kyle, did you add anything?
I'll put it in here just because I don't think I set it out for games that were coming out this week, last week.
Okay.
My memory's been terrible, so maybe I did. But Devolver game Angerfoot dropped on PlayStation today.
Oh, what's
Did
Angerfoot
not
all
know
about?
that was happening. It's like first person Hotline Miami, but you are kicking things. It's like a first person shooter.
All right.
Yeah, it looked cool. It looked fun. I
Nice.
honestly did not know it wasn't already on PlayStation, and it just was like, oh, it's out today.
There you go.
So that's
All
cool.
right. Fair enough. So no Flash news. Everybody relax. It's the summer heat. Okay. It's the
Too
summer
hot
heat.
to run.
It's too hot to run.
Yeah.
No.
To go
All
fast.
right. That said, let's go nice and slow into the next bit here. Okay. Usually we have a little topic, what you've been playing, but I want to know what you played this year. Okay. What is your game of the year in 2025
Ugh.
so far? We're already half of the year
I
out.
suck at this. What did I even
Listen.
play this year?
Yeah, let me pull up the PlayStation trophies.
Where's
Let me
YouTube?
just see.
Now, as I say this, understand this, audio listeners, as you probably sympathize. We all have jobs. Some of us have kids. Some of us are the greatest uncles in the world. And some of us have no excuse, but they watched Andor a lot. I don't want to name names, but Andor needed to be rewatched.
I wonder who it is.
Ooh, I have friends everywhere. So, that said, these don't have to be games we've beaten. Okay. That's asking too much. I'm talking about the best experiences you've played so far. And some of them, yeah, like, listen, I encourage them to be games that you've beaten, but they don't have to be. They could just be games. You could be playing it right now. It could be Expedition 33, you're in Act 1. Or Expedition 33, you're on Act 3 and you're at the final boss, but you still don't know why you haven't beaten it yet because you're just going back and collecting everything for the platinum and then things get in the way. It could be a game from last year. Technically, Indiana Jones counts. Came out on PlayStation. Could be a game that came out years ago, like Forza Horizon. What is it? 5? That was the one?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, but I enjoyed myself with it. So, Kyle Stevenson, Tegan, I have given you both plenty of time vamping. And
I
now
don't
I'm
have an
gonna,
answer for you yet. What?
I was gonna say,
I will just say, scrolling through the games that I've played this year, according to my PlayStation trophies,
yeah.
I played surprisingly little amount of games, and we all know why.
Well, why is that?
400 hours and MLB The Show. What are we talking
That'll
about
do
here?
it.
That'll do it.
That'll do it.
Jesus Christ.
Do you want me to go straight into like honorable mentions?
Yeah, let's go into right into honorable mentions.
I
Go
have
for it.
not finished it yet. I know you two have. AC Shadows. Had a good time with what
Phenomenal.
I played. I need to find time to go back. It's a beautiful video game. That's really good. I need to finish tape 2 of Lost Records, but I really did enjoy tape 1.
Mhm.
I absolutely loved Ender Magnolia Bloom in the Mist, the Metroidvania indie game that I platinumed earlier this year. I'm too dumb for it. Blueprints is real cool, but I'm way too dumb.
Dude,
Fair.
I have not made any progress in that game. I have not made
Same.
the final room one time.
Same, but it's pretty fun. Doom is fun.
Doom was a fun time.
It was a fun time. People forget.
Come
It's a pretty fun
on.
time. But I think my choices as of right now, at this moment of July
Okay.
2nd, 2025, it's between 3.
Okay.
It's between obviously Claire Obscure, but I haven't finished it yet. But that's
So good.
so high up there.
Yep.
The Lies of P DLC Overture.
Overture. Let's go.
It's so good.
So good.
And Death Stranding 2. But I'm only
Death
like
Stranding 2.
12 hours into Death Stranding 2, but I could just tell
Yeah.
outside of that little story thing that I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't want to say anything further, but
Question for you, Kyle.
Mhm.
Have you seen any of my stuff yet? Did you make it out of Mexico? You had to.
Have I seen your stuff?
Yeah, like my
Like
bridges,
in game?
Mhm.
No.
the things I've built. Okay.
I don't think
Good
I'm
alibi.
guaranteed to see your stuff.
So I've made a strand contract with you. So that means like you're
What?
Yeah. So like you find on your friends list, you can make a strand contract with them, and that's where you get to see their stuff in your game. So like you're bound to see.
I have
my
not
stuff.
had that option yet. So
Okay. Yeah, you go into the strand, like was it like it's like the strand list on the menu
Okay.
screen.
okay.
It's like a hidden feature. They
Okay.
don't tell you it outright.
So I have not run into any of your things, but let me tell you, people just drop shit all over that world, and it's kind of annoying.
It's like, pick this up.
How many signs do I have to ride through?
Come on.
Stop it. Stop farming likes in obvious areas where people are going.
I mean, I've done it a few times.
Of course you have.
Listen, I'm just upset because I keep putting down really good bridges. These are really needed bridges. People appreciate them because I see like a road being made and a path being struck. So they're using it. Why aren't you liking the bridge? Like the bridge. I've made a lot of them.
I
Thankless job.
So last night,
Yeah.
I was riding through. I'm trying to 5-star everyone
Same.
in Mexico before I move on.
Mhm.
I was gathering stuff. I was going to one of the distribution centers, and then a flash flood hit, and the river got real high. I was like, "Oh, cool! There's a bridge here," and I'm speeding up. The bridge was not half done. It was just beginning, and I had to slam on the brakes before I went over into the water. It's like, how dare you, game?
Plot twist, that was Joe's bridge.
That was Joe's bridge. That's why you're not getting any likes. You know what?
You think I gotta finish them?
You can't just start it, you know?
Oh man, wait till you meet Troy, dude. Holy shit.
I
Oh
did
my
just
god.
run into Dollman.
How's my boy?
Dollman's pretty great.
Instantly fell in love.
Yeah.
All I'll say about him, Kyle, is I heard he's a Horizon dreamer. Okay.
This is diabolical by Mr. Light. Best like tactic. Look for generators with 100,000 plus likes. Deconstruct it and build your own. Are you kidding me?
Mr.
Ladies
Light,
and gentlemen, my husband.
if
That
we're
is the
not
ultimate.
already
Let me
PlayStation
copy your
friends-
homework.
But not change anything, and then you
Exactly.
get accused of cheating.
Mr. Light, please find me on PSN. We need to We need to synergize.
Oh,
What's he
he
saying?
says it only destroys it in your world.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So
All right,
Still
fair enough.
diabolical.
a likely
Diabolical.
story.
I love it though. I love it.
Okay, my games.
Yes.
I haven't beaten it yet, so I can't say this is my favorite, but I am on the trajectory of it being one of my favorites. Expedition 33.
Yes.
I fought playing it until I was bullied into playing it, and I am so glad I was bullied. Loving that. I loved Avowed,
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
so that would be another runner-up. And then I think my favorite, just because I did beat it and I took the time to platinum it, which I rarely do anymore because I don't have much of that. I think the Oblivion remake has to be the one for me.
I love this. I love this. That said, Toxic writes in, I haven't been able to catch light streams of Expedition 33 or Black
For
Friday.
shame.
For shame, for shame. Every time I see the post that she's going live several hours after the fact, but that's a problem of which my own scheduling and not hers by any means. But I would love to hear her thoughts and opinions on both games on the pod, like what you've been playing or a deep dive. So deep
Nice.
dive, what are you still on, like Act 1, 2 of Expedition? Where are you at?
I just finished Act 1 of Expedition 33. And-
You picked the moment. I have not caught the last stream, so
I cried a
Mhm,
lot.
mhm.
And then immediately got distracted from my tears because a beautiful man in a button-down shirt was there. So
That's fair.
it was a
That's fair.
balm to my soul.
Oof.
How
But-
cool is SK though?
Brilliant.
Love SKA.
Little rock friend. That was a great moment.
Every time I was looking for the rock in my head, I want to be like, "Hello, Rocco." I'm loving it. I think it's beautiful. I have cried, I think, at least once every stream, maybe every other, but still, it's lots of tears.
Yeah.
But I'm absolutely loving it. The music is beautiful. The world is beautiful. The story is beautiful. Cannot wait to get answers.
Sorry, the chat is agreeing. They say Ben Starr has that effect on people.
Ben Starr, yes, he has a voice from the gods.
He really
And
does.
I also want to play Date Everything because he's in it.
Yep.
And
do
I
also
will
play
date
everything.
whatever you are, just so I can hear your voice.
That's fair.
But
What
yeah,
is he
I'm
in
loving
Date
it.
Everything?
I think a door or something.
Oh,
I don't know.
okay.
Let me see.
All right, fair enough.
I don't know.
What is he?
Yeah.
in?
How do you
yeah.
feel about the turn based? Because I don't think you're a turn based gal. If I don't.
Typically no, but I
Mhm.
did start Baldur's Gate, which I think would also be on my list. I think
Okay.
that was technically this year that I started it, but I did
Alright.
not make it out of Act 1 for that yet.
Fair.
But I did have many an hour in there, even though I'm still not out of Act 1. So I did love that. But the combat was what I was super nervous about. I'm loving it though, because I thought the turn-based with the QTEs and the parry was going to be too weird for me. I thought
Right.
that automatically was going to make it a not me game. And everyone kept saying, no, trust me, you need to try it. And I was like, nah. And I was wrong. And they were right. And that takes a lot for me to admit. But I think it's really fun. I think it's a perfect segue to get you into turn-based if it's not typically your cup of tea. Because it keeps the fights like a faster pace. But you can still, like, when it's your turn, stop to think about what you're going to do. So I love it. It's hard. I'm struggling, but it's a lot of fun. Although I did just beat the boss at the end of Act 1, my first try, which is probably an easier boss. But I was proud of myself for that one.
Yeah. No, that took me 2 tries, I think, because we're kind of the same in that regard of like, there were several times I was like, and I think towards the end of Act 3, I'm like, I'm just putting this thing to easy. I can't. I suck too bad at turn-based games. I'll put my old man card here. But like, yeah, no, the bosses are like incredibly challenging.
I've heard through the grapevine that there is a giant jump in difficulty. When does that happen? At the end of Act 1? Like, am I about to hit that, or did it already happen?
I would say they're around Act 2. I think after one of those bosses, that's where the difficulty kind of jumps up, and that's where I was really struggling, and that's when I was like, I'm putting this thing to easy.
Okay, I'm going to mentally prepare myself. I do have to say I'm glad I'm streaming it though, because story-wise, I wish I was doing just a Let's Play pre-recorded, but I'm glad I'm streaming because there's in Act 1. This isn't really a spoiler because it's not a boss. It's just like a regular enemy type. But if you don't want to hear this, jump forward like 20 seconds. The ladies, the really tall ladies with the swords that go and then you know. And for audio listeners, that was stabbing your gut and then swinging their sword at you. I could not figure out why I was missing the parry on the third swing because it's swing 1 with an audio cue, swing 2 with an audio cue, swing 3 with an audio cue, but I was messing it up and I could not figure out why. And my chat kept being like, you forget to jump. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
You forget to jump. What are you talking about? Because I forgot that yellow means jump. So I was just trying to parry. I was like, why do you guys keep talking about jump? This is not a jumping thing. And then they're like, you see the yellow? That means jump. And I was like, this is a jumping thing. And then I got it.
I will say, like, not to add any more fear to it being harder or ramping up. There's another mechanic that gets introduced very early on in Act 2 that is like a parry. It is a parry adjacent thing.
Yeah.
Oh god.
That you also have to be aware of.
And I have forgotten how to do it. And I'm like,
I think it's R2 instead of R1 for parry.
oh, okay.
I think it's just the back one, but
that's good. Yeah. I'm glad you're loving it. Sorry. Jeannie writes, because I needed to get her comment in because she legit, I died. Ben Starr is all of the doors. He's front Dorian, back Dorian, and trap Dorian.
But also, just quick shout out to my book lovers out there. The fact that his name is Dorian. Reese, you're starting to read the series. I know you are going to extra fall in love with this now.
Oh, okay. I guess Dorian's
if you guys haven't read Throne of Glass yet, there's a character named Dorian.
Oh my. All right, fair enough. That said, joke's on you. I can't read, so I can't fall in love with Dorian, but I can play a few games. That's
over under. Right. Joe, can you read?
60-40.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
Over under how many words can you read?
How many's a lot?
This many.
Well, when you get into like first grade, you're supposed to have at least 100 sight words. So you're at least at 100.
Well,
get the flashcards, Kyle.
I know words like copacetic sometimes.
Now that's an impressive word. Good job.
But he doesn't know thanks. It's a strange trade-off, you know?
Okay. Yeah, let's do some of my highlights. First, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Great game. Excellent game. That actually might be the game I go to after I beat Death Stranding 2 as a nice little like change in pace. Story's excellent. Again, Troy Baker. Dude, what? Here's the thing. After playing Indiana Jones and then watching him as Higgs in Death Stranding 2, here's the new goal in the trophy room. We got to get Troy Baker on the show.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can do it. I think it's possible. I need to interview this man. I need to talk to this man, ask him some questions. Yes, T?
This is total tangent. I'm so sorry. But if I don't say it now, I will forget. Did you see the trailer for the new Abubakar Salim game with Ben Starr?
Sure did.
Mm-hmm.
Can we have them on the show, please?
Yeah, that'd be
that
great.
looks so freaking good.
I don't see why we can't.
Oh God.
Let's do it.
It's Ben and Neil Newbon from Baldur's Gate.
Yep.
Yes.
So many questions for
It's
Neil.
like a psychological horror thriller or something.
Yeah. Dude. Then, so again, honorable mention, Indy, crushing it as Indy himself. Split Fiction. Playing this game, it's been a ton of fun. I need to go back for the plat. So Kyle Stevenson, I call upon you. We need to have a game day, I think. You and I. Okay. Or T, if you have Split Fiction. Or we could just take turns. I don't know. We need to play it. We need to beat it. And we need to platinum this game. And there's going to be some hard plats. There's going to be some hard trophies. But I feel like we can do it. We can persevere.
Like, do you have Split Fiction?
I think so.
I've got it digitally. Do I get the game pass, friend pass with it? I'll just send you the game with the friend pass.
There you go.
So you have it.
We got to play together. It's going to be nice. It's going to be nice. But no, Split Fiction plays with various like physics and level design, and their comedy is perfect. Well, I'll say the story is kind of like, yeah. I think the writing between the dialogue writing between the two characters is phenomenal, and seeing their relationship grow as the game progresses is a real great time. I want to shout out the Outer Worlds because I'm super excited for the Outer Worlds 2. I wanted to explore late stage capitalism until I was truly in it. So to get ready, I played Outer Worlds Spacer Choice Edition and fell in love with that game. It's so
So
much
good.
fun.
So good.
It's God, the humor is just phenomenal.
Did you play the DLC too?
No, I want to. I want to
I
get in
never
it
did
before the
either.
sequel.
I think I
But
need to
like,
play it.
if you saw which we didn't get to see, but I watched literally like a week ago, Obsidian with the Xbox showcase, they did like their deep dive into Obsidian or into the Outer Worlds 2, and they had John Ralphio, the voice of Sonic. They had him as president of sequels at Xbox and Obsidian, and he was terrific. So just the writing there sold me on what we're gonna get with Outer Worlds 2. Yes, sign me the heck up. I'm
Joe,
so excited.
Can,
Yes,
can I just
Cassius.
stop you for a second? I
Please.
feel weirdly called out in chat right now.
Why?
Why go? Art trophy's weird if you don't own it. And then Jonathan Kelly writes, I think the whole trophy chase obsession is weird. What?
Listen,
My whole identity, it's gone.
listen. I have an addictive personality, okay? Trophy chasing is part of that addiction. I freaking collect stupid little squishy plastic things. All right.
Those
The
aren't stupid.
trophy hunting is the
Those are
least
cool.
of my weirdness.
Yeah. I want that digital trophy that I'll
It's
never
just because
hold in my
Jonathan's
entire
a
life.
PC gamer and Steam trophies are weird. He's just
Yeah.
jealous.
Oh, I got Steam stickers. Ooh, who cares? They're Steam stickers. One
But-
person
Love you,
actually on
Jonathan.
Spotify, they gave us a mean comment. They're like, this show has nothing to do with trophies. As
What
to
you
my
talking about?
reply was,
We literally
yeah, exactly. I'm like, no, this is a PlayStation podcast, and we talk about trophies occasionally.
Also, Alex Smith, I would love to have Travis Willingham on. Just any of the Critical Role cast.
Who does Travis?
Travis
play?
is the voice of Thor in the Avengers game.
Oh, hell yes.
He's did voices in The Last of Us, like
Okay.
the NPC folks. He's been in a ton of things, but
Stone Cold ET writes in, I'm playing on PlayStation 7 over here on PC. It is pretty nice. What is that?
before we get too
Yeah.
far away from it,
Please.
I'm gonna call all of us out here right now on the main show,
Okay.
so everyone can hear it.
Please.
We always talk about playing with each other. Can we please sit down and play?
Can we
Oh,
reword
hold
that?
on, playing
Can we
games,
reword that?
playing games.
Christ.
Hold on, don't be weird about it. Playing.
I
video
can't help it.
games.
That's my personality,
Yeah.
making everything weird, Kyle.
All right,
No,
Kyle. Well, first you
the
gotta stop
moment I
grabbing
said
my
it-
ass when you say that.
The moment I said it, I was like, shit.
I call the cuck chair.
I'll be
Next,
in
he's
the
gonna ask me
middle.
to sit on some cake.
I will buy the jars for the toots.
Thank you.
I'll bring the laminator.
Listens to the show.
Hands are here.
God bless. Hands in.
Hands are
Hands are-
here.
Oh, goodness
We always
gracious.
talk about playing games with each other.
Yes.
We need to actually do that.
Actually do it. For real, for real.
Because somebody I think in chat earlier says we all should play Peak together,
What's
and I
Peak?
think we would have a great time.
What is
Peak
that?
is a climbing game.
Was
but
ist
it-
das?
It's like where we could talk to each other in the game, and the character's mouth moves and
Oh,
whatever.
that's cute. Okay. Is that on PlayStation or is this one of them new
It's
age
a
PC games?
it's a PC game, but it's the Aggro Crab team. Another crab treasure next game.
Okay.
Jesus
Sheesh.
Christ.
All right. Other than that weird tangent, also shout out technically Witcher 3. I mean, I played it this year. Shout out to
That's
you,
true.
Witcher 3.
That's true.
Now I'm like all up in it. Like I cannot wait for the Witcher 4. Jesus Christ. I feel like the urge to replay it again, this one for the platinum though. I feel like I could play it on hard. I think I can do a good job. Last but not leastly, last honorable mention, Doom of the Dark Ages. You're so fantastic. I love playing you. You were a great time. And then, of course, Expedition 33. You're right there, bud. I don't want to beat a dead horse. It's real good for those that come after. Last but not least, I think my game of the year right now, and it is no shocker to anybody because I'm a PlayStation fanboy through and through, is Death Stranding 2 on the beach. I am now 60 hours in. Kyle Stevenson, when I said, hey, you asked me, are there slingshots? I will not confirm or deny. I will say, though, the things you get later on in the game get even weirder and even so much more cool. It is such, man, it really is the Assassin's Creed 1 to 2 type of jump in game where every bit of this game, every bit of the sequel is better than the original game, one that I already had a high opinion on. Kojima and his staff really looked at what people's complaints were, what their questions were, and they really took it to heart and really gave us a game that I think he wanted to make, but also kept fans in his mind's eye when creating it. Because from things like traversal options, like it's not just let's walk up the hill simulator, like there's actually the fun like social element of building bridges, dropping vehicles off at convenient places for other players. It teaches people consistently. Just compassion helps us move forward without like overtly kind of saying that. And through just gameplay mechanics of like me wanting to stop and go, hey, I'm going to test out this watchtower. I'm going to see if it's good. And if it's good, I'm going to hit it with a bunch of likes because I know that's going to help that person out with their run and encourage them to keep helping people. Oh my God. It's so darn good. Then down to the combat where I can't say without spoiling, but I learned martial arts and in the most Kojima fashion possible. And at the same exact time, kind of poking fun at itself through the fourth wall, while also asking really, really intriguing questions about like society and about us as a whole. It's so great. It's genuinely
and
phenomenal.
It's really two things. One is I love the revisionist history with a lot of people on TikTok talking about Death Stranding. Like, oh, Death Stranding 1 is a great game.
Yeah.
I'm glad people are coming around and realizing that it's a pretty good game. And two, they did all of that without compromising on the vision of narrative so far. It's still weird. It's still strong. The performances are still out of this world.
Yeah.
So like I'm very excited to see it through. Like I said earlier, I'm only like 12 hours in, still kind of in the first area, trying to 5-star everybody before I move on. And like, my goodness, talk about the opening of that video game. I thought I had the cable on and was watching like National Geographic.
Right.
I was like, there is no way I am looking at a video game right now. And the way that game opens and the unique weather thing, because earlier when I talked about that bridge with the flood, I was also running or driving away from an incoming sandstorm.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, I gotta book it. I've already overloaded on cargo. I'm going to be so slow. It's going to be terrible. Like just the dynamic weather and the way, just how the world looks so much different from the first one too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm absolutely loving every single second. I can't wait to run into other characters I haven't run into yet and just playing it all. It's great.
It feels like a Kojima that's based in the present because like a lot of his games ask questions that he's thinking about and they're far future questions, right? Like, Metal Gear was all about propaganda, and then Death Stranding 1 was like, hey, we're so connected to our phones, but we feel more alone than ever. And then COVID came and there was an even deeper analysis on it of like, yeah, we are actually now here in our, cocooned in our homes. And this now game speaks to us even harder because of it. And then like Death Stranding 2 asks the question of like, should we have connected? Are we overly connected? And, in this age, is it truly every person for itself for themselves where like, we're handing each other sticks, we're fighting with each other constantly, or can we actually lend a hand to one another? Will compassion see us through, or will this ruthlessness kind of be the thing that rules us? And I really love that higher like way of like asking the question of on a societal level, well then also just like bringing it down to asking personal questions about certain characters that we meet along the way. Like I just think it's a really great game that's asking really great questions that I can't wait to see his answer to them. Because like, yeah, like, I think I said in the last episode, you could see that this man loves George Miller, he loves Guillermo del Toro, and then you could also see like he loves was it Stanley Kubrick, right? Like, and these filmmakers are the things that have very much inspired him. And when I hear people go, oh, he really wants to make movies, I actually think this is a game creator that's just really heavily inspired by movies, and I think that's what makes him so unique and so different. And why I'm jiving with Death Stranding 2 so much is I think this is also a Kojima that feels more comfortable and like kind of self-constrained himself in certain ways, that he doesn't feel the need to go certainly over the top, but he's still doing some wacky and what we would think wacky, like peculiar things with some of the story. But he feels like the cutscenes, some of them are long, especially some in the beginning, but like they feel much more, hey, here's the evolutions of all these characters happening in about a minute or two, and now we're back to the game. So yeah, Death Stranding 2 just learned so many lessons from its predecessor to make something that was already, Kyle and I thought was great off the rip, and now it's kind of like the Breath of the Wild to Tears of the Kingdom. This is gonna be one of my favorite games ever. Even just 60 hours in. And talking about that cast, and I'm sorry, I'll be done after this. Like, this is a Hollywood cast, and they're not phoning it in. Like, so like you see some folks do, like was it Kevin Spacey in like Call of Duty, right? It's like he was there because House of Cards was popular at the time. It's like, yeah, no, Leah Seydoux is there, but she is phenomenal, right? Like Norman Reed is obviously there, phenomenal. Like I think Troy Baker giving one of his best performances ever here. It's just, yeah, the actress that plays Rainey, oh my god, Ella, is her name
Elle
Ella?
Fanning.
Elle Fanning. Like all these actors are not just going, it's a video game. They're actually treating it serious and giving really great performances. So yeah, game's phenomenal, and I get it. I'm a PlayStation show. What can I say? But I love it.
I'm just excited for one of you to beat it so you can tell me if my theory from like months ago is correct. But I don't want to
What's your
say it
theory?
again because I don't want anyone to be like yes or no, because I don't want to spoil
Fair
stories.
enough. Oh,
You-
true.
If you ask us off after recording, I may
Okay.
or may not be able to answer that question.
Okay.
Yep. But yeah, it's phenomenal. And truly, again, 60-hour mark story, I know what's going on. I know. It's not like people really like to over exaggerate. Like, oh, I don't know, it's good. There's flying whales. It's like, yeah. You know what's going on.
A really fun thing, because Kojima games are kind of hard to follow along, and he throws a lot at you. Just like when a new term pops up, you could go into the codex and read about it and learn about it. It's doing the Final Fantasy 16 thing of like the active lore system that they had, where you can hop in, and if you're ever lost at what's going on or need a refresher of who the characters are, or whatever, it is there. And it's very like right at that moment, it will pop up and say, hey, you want to learn more about like tar currents or what's the ha and ka is like. It's very, very good at that, and I think it's much needed with such a lore dense game.
And truly, and I'm playing on a PlayStation 5 Pro, humble brag, but switch that baby to
1% over here. Your tax cuts aren't gonna
That's right.
be affected.
That's right. Here I am. Who needs hospitals when I got state-of-the-art pistons over here, giving me one of the most strikingly beautiful visual levels I've ever seen in a video game. It's like Mardi Gras is happening with fireworks, and that's all this. it's so stunning. I was just like, this is a video game. It's one of those things. It sounds cliche, but I had my controller like on the table because I thought I was still watching the the cinematic. I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, it's great. It's asking some cool questions. I'm very curious to see where it goes. But man, and yeah, you could the encyclopedia. You could access during cutscenes. Thank you, Solcanic. All right, that became another mini Death Stranding 2 thing. But listen, we loved it. That said, Kyle Stevenson, Tegan, are you guys holding on to something? Anything at all?
I took off the pop socket to my phone. I've just been playing with it all episode.
All right, fair enough. Prepare the drop. Here are the latest steals and deals coming to the PlayStation storefront.
Is that a Barbie bracelet?
I just made
Rapunzel?
it. It's Rapunzel.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh, that's cute.
That's
Just
nice.
thinking for my. Well, I don't know if it'll even work, but for my.
Ah, fancy. I'm holding on to a power bank that's powering the mouse so it doesn't die again. Kyle, here's the latest steals and deals headed to the PlayStation storefront on the last 4th of July. Kyle Stevenson, take it away.
Hold on, Jonathan Kelly. What does this mean? They
Not
haven't
cheap.
platinums in 3 minutes. What are you talking about? I have so many cheap platinums that I've gotten in less than 60 seconds. What are you
kidding
talking
me?
about?
You kidding me?
I have almost 400. Anyways, there's only one game coming to PlayStation next week, and it's Missile Command Delta.
Okay.
But because I don't remember if we talked about it last week, Angerfoot it was out on PlayStation already. And Angry Birds Bounce. There's a new Angry Birds game on mobile. So go. Nope, that was a dirty joke that just ran in my head. Go play Angry Birds if you want.
Kyle, where's your hands, huh?
They're here.
All right, okay. Where's your toes? Because I'm feeling something. It's time for the last segment. But our favorite segment of the night. It's time for the Sony Pony Express.
Yeehaw, but I don't want to say yeehaw after that last comment from Joe. That seems weirdly.
Sad
Why'd you think I got the pitch so high?
Ghetto Berry writes in, hey guys, I hope you're all doing well. This question is for the Sony Pony Express. Yeehaw.
Yeehaw.
And it's something that's been on my mind for a while. Oh, Joe just left. Cool. Reviews. What do you all do to implement reviews? What are your criteria for deciding what goes into a review? Is it important to finish the game before having a finalized review? Do you even need to like the game, genre, or franchise when reviewing it? Basically, what makes a review a review? Personally, I'd rather review a hotshot golf game, Everybody's Golf here in the UK, or a Tomb Raider game than, say, an Elden Ring or a sports. But is it unfair for a diehard player to review what is essentially their favorite games? And I know you guys don't score your games typically, so do scores really count? Not just for the Metacritic, but for consumers who may or not want to play the game. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the whole reviewing process. As always, you all do excellent work, and I love you all. Love you too, Ghetto Berry.
Love you. Mwah, mwah. Also, you got room in the UK. I know you guys don't have AC, but it's pretty hot over here in the States. You catch my drift.
Why? Hold on. Where did you just go?
Oh, yeah. So
for audio listeners, Joe just disappeared.
When I unplugged the mouse, I hit a button and it took me out of the thing.
Okay, cool.
That said, how do we approach?
Or yeah. Well, how do you feel of the general culture of reviews?
I don't know, like what do you think?
I can take this away because actually, Mr. and I were just having this conversation last night, kind of.
Ooh, go for it.
So, I have wanted to do reviews on my channel for a long time. I've done a couple, but I always struggle with do I review it? Do I do a let's play? Whatever. So I haven't done as many as I would like. On my channel, I like to not give it a number because I think people get stuck on the number, and the number means something different to everybody. Excuse me. So I like to try to rate it on a scale of, should you buy it immediately? Is it worth your time to play, but maybe you wait a little bit or wait for a sale? Or is it bad? Just steer clear. Because in my mind, that's what I want to know. When I'm reading a review, I want to know, is this something that I need to play right now because I'm going to have FOMO of it and I'm going to miss out? Is this something that seems like it could be good, but I don't mind putting it on the backlog for now until I see a good sale, or is it just bad? I don't really care about the number because a 7 to someone could be, oh, this is a good game. A 7 to someone else could be, this is a failure of a game. No one can agree what the number means. So I like to review games that way, with less of a number weight and more of a, is this worth your time to play? Almost like a pass fail system versus like a rubric point system.
Yeah.
But I do see the reason why outlets created the number system and have the number system. I just wish there was a way to have it be industry standardized, because what a 7 means at IGN isn't necessarily what a 7 means at GameSpot or whatever the case may be. Like with the rubric IGN uses, a 7 means good. With the rubric that GameSpot uses, a 7 means, ooh, this was kind of rough. Like, I'm just making that up. Don't quote me. Like, those aren't actual things. But like, people get mad at IGN all the time because everything comes back as a 7 because of how their rubric is structured. So I just think, like, I understand why having a number on something is easier for outlets to do, but I personally don't see the value of that for me. I just want to know, do I need to play this game right now or not?
Yeah, I like that approach a lot. Because to me, I think you nailed it perfectly. Like, numbers could literally mean anything. Like a 6 can mean, like, literally a 6 means it's okay. 7 means it's good. 8 means it's great. 9 means it's excellent. 10 means this, you gotta go out there and buy it. To me, right? But even like to me, and for me, that makes sense. But if someone sees a 5, they're like, oh, I gotta avoid this game at all costs. This is a bad game. Where it's like, no, that just literally means it's mediocre. Where I think with the trophy room, it's just like, hey, we got codes for a thing. I tell you guys the embargo, what we, what give you the kit if you need it, which sometimes comes with guides or whatever, for us. And then we talk about it here. I try not to like overthink it, because to me, we're not on OpenCritic, we're not on Metacritic, so we don't need the number. One day that will change for sure, especially because those aggregate sites do help bring traffic over here. But we're not like a site like, for example, Xbox Era, right? Our friends over there, they're on OpenCritic, they're on Metacritic. They need to have, from what I'm aware of, numbers on their reviews to get on those sites. Recommended isn't good enough. So
right.
for OpenCritic, if you recommend a game, that does count towards the score.
Gotcha.
It does weigh it a little bit, because for 6 on Indie, we didn't have scores on it, but our recommended or whatever we had in the past would still count and be aggregated into OpenCritic stuff.
And now with that, would it weigh it negatively or positively, do you think?
I think it's like one or the other, to put into number terms, and they could have changed it since then, but like recommended is probably, let's just say, like a 7.5, and then not recommended is probably like a 6.5. Just like a bump over the edge either way.
Yeah.
It could be totally wrong on that front, but who knows?
And that's the other thing. It's like, and that's the other thing I wonder too with reviews, because like so many studios, they need those numbered scores. Right?
To bring in another side of things, like I work in games PR, reviews are super, super helpful for a lot of the smaller indie devs, because getting a score, and hopefully a good one, leads to more sales right away.
Yeah.
Because when it's an indie game, when it's a smaller game that not many people know about, or visibility is rough anyway, if the common player is scrolling through, is like, oh, this game's at an 80% positive review on Steam, yeah, I'm gonna go buy that because people are liking the game, I want to check it out, whatever. If it dips at that mixed territory, they'll wait until a sale, or they'll just pass completely. So reviews for those smaller games are so beneficial, and they can help a ton. And also, from my side of things, when I'm pitching media for reviews, I'm not just saying, oh, hey, IGN, here's codes, review. I'm targeting folks that play those genres.
Mhm.
or have written reviews that are of similar games, so they are familiar with that genre. They already know about it because, like, just for example, for me, if someone's be like, "Hey, Kyle, go review this MMORPG,"
Mhm.
that's not my bag.
Yeah.
I'm not going to score that the way that it should be scored because I know nothing about how to play those games.
Yep.
Similar to like a tactics game. I'm not going to. I love playing tactics games. I don't know the nitty gritty ins and outs kind of thing. Like there needs to be some sort of experts on that one. That's how I feel it should be,
Agreed.
kind of thing. But reviews are important. But I also agree with Light that there needs to be a general consensus across the board of what these numbers are, and like, just because a game got a 7 per se, it's not a bad game. It's a good game.
Mhm.
Yep.
And I think the perception around those scores needs to change a lot, but I don't know exactly how to do that.
I think the perception is hard because we're used to seeing number scores in school. Okay, so teacher Light's putting her hat back on here.
%. Yeah.
Yep.
If I handed back a student a test with a 7 out of 10, to me, that's yes, you passed. Yes, you did it, but you still don't firmly grasp these concepts. So we still need to work to get you to fully grasp these concepts because you passed and that's great. But was it a lucky pass? Was it a like you knew some of them, but not all of them? There's still more knowledge that needs to be had here. If you get a 6 out of 10, you failed. You really didn't understand anything. So when I look at the score and see a 7, I'm thinking like, okay, it's okay, but it has a lot that it needs to improve on because that's my teacher brain. And then I had to remind myself, no, to IGN, a 7 is good. And that's a very different 7 than the 7 I gave my students when I was teaching. But I think a lot of us, that's the only experience we have to getting number scores is in school. And I think, at least in the United States, most schools are kind of thinking of grades the same way. Like,
Yeah.
90 is mastery, 80 is like you've got it, but you struggled a little bit. 70 is no, you passed, but we still have concepts we need to work on. And C's do get degrees. Listen, you passed. But
Wanda Nat 22 says, hey, passing is passing. God bless. That's what I say too.
It's true. But I think that's why we as consumers struggle to see that 7 and be like, it's better than a 7 because no, it's a good game. But we think of 7 as like, ooh, you kind of barely passed that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm also on team. Let's get rid of user scores.
Oh, 100%.
Because they
useless.
are not reliable in the slightest, which is why I prefer OpenCritic over Metacritic. Because you rarely go to Metacritic for the Metacritic site score. You go to see what the user score is.
Yep.
Like, and review bombing is a thing. It sucks. It's awful. They do it for nefarious reasons. It makes it, to me, has no place in this industry whatsoever. You can write about it on your own little blog or whatever. Wow, that was very condescending. You can write it on your blog, your personal little,
little PlayStation podcast.
Exactly. You can go do it wherever and broadcast it. But like, to just publicly go on there and be like, a texture didn't pop in. It's a 1 out of 10. All right, dude, let's calm down. It's not that serious.
Yeah.
But yeah, people need to also not take review scores so seriously on the player side of things.
Yeah. And like, again, like,
look at it, you can write it in your MySpace, whatever.
Your Friendster, whatever have you. But yeah, like for us, it's just like, I just want to have a conversation with you, and you should. I feel like I trust you guys to trust us, of like, you genuinely know how the conversation's going when we're talking about these things, that if we're high on it or not. And we'll usually go, oh yeah, we recommend this or whatever. But like, for us, it's just like, let's just have a conversation about the game we've played, and that should service it enough, because at the end of the day, podcasts are just conversations between friends. So I think as long as you get the gist of that convo, that's going to be all right. Whereas with like YouTube, as we've done a few reviews over there, and I'd like to do more of them. That I understand having that numbered score there, especially to give to like a marketing person, or like one of those Kyle Stevensons.
But that's important to know. I was just going to bring that up. When you see an accolade trailer from a studio, where the ones that have like all the seals of scores and blah blah blah, a lot of times they have quotes, And a lot of those times, those are from reviews without a score. And I think that's really wonderful. And I want more people to do that.
Yeah.
It's more about talking about the game instead of reducing it to just a number.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of how we do it, and other podcasts do it, where they're talking about new games. I think is so important because it's talking about what the game subject matter is more than, it's an 8,
I will say my final point on this that he asked, do you think you need to finish the game?
Yeah.
I think if you're going to give a number score, yes, the game should be complete. I get frustrated when a number score is given and even if they say, oh, this is a review in progress. No, don't give it a number if you haven't beaten the game because things can change drastically. The game can have a slow start because it needs to build. The game can have a really great start and then crash on the tail end.
Yeah.
So even if you do put it out there this is a work in progress, I personally don't trust your number at all until you've fully
100%.
beaten the game. Now,
Yeah.
if our conversations that we have, oh my gosh, I'm really loving the game, that's a different conversation because that, like you said, is a conversation about our thoughts of the game.
Yep.
But if you are going to go out there and give an actual number, I think the game needs to be beaten.
Yeah, 100%. And
I would agree.
Also, review in progress is another. This is a really great question because we're really going in the weeds. Ains and I have that conversation all the time. It's that's not a review in progress. First off, thank you for saying in progress, but it's more of an SEO thing. I'm writing that there not because I want to write it, but because if I want listeners and viewers to look at the thing, that needs to be there, unfortunately, or else I would put impressions on everything. You know what I'm saying? So a review in progress, I would never put a number on it. And I would, if I was to put, for example, Doom the Dark Ages, Kyle could attest when we did that review for Doom the Dark Ages, I literally just beat that game 20, it was down to the wire when we had that conversation. So if I'm putting a number to a thing, yes, if I am if I'm telling you, for example, Expedition 33, hey, I'm at this point right here, I'm really loving it. It's my game of the year so far. I'm not telling you my number on it, but I'm telling you where I'm at in the story without spoiling anything. So another thing, what I do is the 60-hour plus review of. It's okay, I played this for 60 hours. Here's what I like so far. No numbers in this at all.
The only caveat to that, where I think a review in progress or 2 really is okay, is with early access games. Because I really, really hate when an early access game gets a score because that is not the finished product most of the time.
Yeah.
And they're doing that so they could get some funding to do a lot of things, or they just need to get it out there so they can get valuable feedback, because QA teams are also extremely expensive and take a lot to kind of set up kind of thing. But and then 2 and Nisa in chat says oftentimes they just don't get the code in time.
Yeah, that's
they
very
get it
true.
the day before or the day of,
or the weekend before.
And SEO is terrible, but it's also it's the lifeblood a lot for these sites, so they got to get something up there. But I would always not put a score on any sort of review in progress, and I think most of them don't, the big ones that you should trust with the reviews. And just also on that note, can we also apply that to TV seasons? Let's not review every episode.
Oh my god!
Let's wait for that. Drove me up a wall with Last of Us Season 2. Drove me up a wall.
Yeah.
Let's see the full picture.
I don't know.
Go for it. Sorry.
Was that a post-show conversation we had, or was it in the show? I don't remember. But we said, you wouldn't rate every chapter of a book individually. Why are you rating every episode individually? It makes no sense. No sense.
And it's always with the first 3 episodes of anything, and they're it's a slow. It's a slow build, but we think it's building up to something.
There's 10 episodes.
It's it's called character development, world building, and setting and setup. It's I want to shake a baby.
It's called not TikTok brain rot.
Whoa, Joe. Whoa. You want to shake a baby? Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Someone get him a boo.
Come on, little Lou.
This is why he likes Death Stranding. He's just shaking Lou.
Exactly.
I'm doing it bad.
When I played the intro and I had to shake Lou, I couldn't get her to stop crying. I was like, why won't she stop crying? And Dan's like, because you're shaking her like a mad woman. And I was like, oh, I didn't know I could shake her slower because I'm literally like this with the controller. I'm a great
Christ,
mother,
that's the mother of
guys.
my child.
And that's when Light realizes she goes and looks at old home movies of little Light, like, oh my god, I was really rocking her. Oh man.
She's like, shit, that's why my kid walks around in a daze. All right, Kyle, what's the next question you got here, bud?
By the way, we're on a roll tonight, okay?
We really are.
Like, we're doing great.
This is all
Payday
fine.
content.
Koziasko, I believe is how you say it. My apologies for mispronouncing that. Trophy Room Legends. That's us.
Ooh.
A quick
okay.
question from the Land of Oz.
Okay.
What are your favorite games from each tier of PS Plus this year?
Oh shit.
Mine are, for a new release, Blueprints, One
Okay.
Epic Puzzler, the Classics Catalog, Uncharted Collection. I'm playing these
Oh,
for the first
shit.
time.
All right.
Awesome. I wish I could revisit those for the first time. Monthly games, Stanley Parable from January. I'd never heard of this, and it really challenged my view on gaming narratives and the independence of the player to make decisions. Wish for the end. What is your wish for the rest of the year? If I could choose one game to come onto the service, it would be Helldivers. Get more people back into the game. I own it, but I want to share the love.
Heck yes. Okay, let's make it easy. Let's make it easier. This is a tough one. This is.
I don't even know what's on there.
Exactly. When he said the Uncharted collection, I was like, oh shit, that's a steal. I would say first off, Uncharted collection, which I was playing Uncharted 3 because I don't have that one platted, and I feel like that one I definitely can. Even on hard, it's not that difficult. So I was going for Uncharted 3's platinum on the Uncharted collection. But I think Blueprints is a really good shout out because that is a puzzler that is that's a game that I feel like in my eyes would have died on the vine if not for a subscription service like a Game Pass or a PlayStation Plus, just for me to try it out and go, oh, puzzles. Okay, I'm out. At least I was able to give it a go and give it a try. And also Diablo 4, come on. That's in July. So I could be living in hell in the real world and online. Let's go.
I've got two that
Okay.
were part of the monthly games this year. One is Balatro. I mean, come on, y'all.
That made it on?
Yeah, that was one of the PS Plus games in May.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But like one of my favorite games of last year, Dragon Age Veilguard, was also a PS Plus game this year.
True.
That was really, really cool. Granted, I know that was very close and people were upset that it was on PS Plus, but like that game's awesome. I really like that game. Yep. As far as classics go, I haven't really dove into any of the classics, but it's cool that the old school Resident Evil games are there. I think Dino Crisis is there, which is cool. But
did we buy enough time?
Dragon Age the Veilguard apparently was on one of the monthly ones, and I think that's that's how I got it, and that's how I played it. I think. I don't think I bought it, so that's a good one. Or maybe I did buy it, but then I was excited. I don't know. Doesn't matter. I would say that one. And then for classics, I'm looking at the list right now, and I see that the first Last of Us is on there. So I'm gonna go with that.
Oh yeah, I think part 1 is on there. Yeah.
Didn't you get Veilguard as a code light like when it launched?
Oh yes, shit! I did.
Yeah,
I did.
I'll remember this for you. Memory buddies unite. She got it at launch, but then she was reinvigorated by seeing it on PlayStation Plus.
There you go.
And I mean, come on, Lucanus. Let's be honest. Mexican heartthrob, that man. Oh, and also Tash. Come on.
I want to say for the classics catalog, the original God of War games, but the fact that I have to stream them and can't download them is really annoying. And also, I really want to play them, but are we going to get remasters or remakes of them?
Oh, I don't know.
What are the odds of this? Because I just beat Black Flag, and let me tell you, all of a sudden, I finished recording the final episode that day. The freaking voice actor comes out and says, well, you might be excited for something. Like, shut up, dude. I just beat the first one. What do you mean? So I'm going to play these original games, and then Sony's going to be like, hey, Shadow Drop.
Oh, so you're saying if you play it now, once you're done with it, I see.
I like where your head's at. All right, Kyle, change
Over under light, I would say 60% on a remaster of those.
But how long? Do I have to wait a
How
long
long
time?
until? Yeah, I don't know.
how long's their next game?
Good point.
I think you get the
Sony-
God of War 2.5 Metroid game. I'm sorry, I'm getting the bad
Oh, I forgot about that one.
thoughts. Next year, maybe you get remasters the year after.
So maybe I should just play them.
Yeah.
Have you guys played them recently? How rough are they? How difficult are they to play?
Truly, as someone who I'm just like you, played God of War 2018, then Valhalla, and I was like, oh my god, so great because I couldn't connect to Kratos as a child. I say they actually age really well gameplay wise.
Okay.
You know, it's still like you got the like hijinks of like we're being edgy. It's the 2000s, but you know, Linkin Park just dropped their second album vibes, but it's
Like there's a sex mini game and
Oh,
bullshit
I know
like
about
that.
that.
Yeah.
I don't
Pretty
the
cool.
Aphrodite one, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That was the talk of the school back then.
Yeah, it was.
it really was though, dude. It was something else. But yeah, I think gameplay wise they age really well. I was
Okay.
surprised, especially
I-
God of War 2.
I did try to start the first one a long time ago at this point.
Yeah.
And I got to a section where I had to run between boxes or push a box, and I was getting shot up at arrows, and the box was not going where I wanted the box to go. And I was getting real frustrated. I said, you know what? This is not for me. This is not for me. And I turned it off. But I think that was pretty early on. And also, I think I'm a better gamer now. So maybe it would be better.
I haven't gone back to 1 and 2 in a while. But it is kind of jarring going from like Ragnarok in 2018 to very much like an on rails kind of thing. Yeah, like Genie, 1 is on the little bit of the rougher side. 2 starts with a bang and doesn't let up. And I actually also really enjoy 3.
Okay.
3 is also a little bit more modern too, so was still feeling like the older PS2 ones, but yeah,
it's good. All right, Kyle Stevenson, what's the last question here, sir?
Katie writes in, hello, Trophy Room Trio. So as always, some of the best games I played this year didn't come out this year. Some of my honorable mentions so far has to be games like Halo 4, only got Infinite left to play on my catch-up, and Banisher's Ghosts of New Eden, the game from Don't Nod. My personal game of the year at the moment is Dragon Age Veilguard. Look at that. I played more of it yesterday, and I finally achieved the platinum for it. Hey, congrats.
Nice.
Had to play through the end of the game again, and boy, BioWare knocked it out of the park with how fluid, smooth, and quick that combat is. Small question this week. The Steam summer sale is going on, and I decided to pick up House Flipper, and I'm hooked. My dream to become an interior decorator has finally been recognized. So what's some games that you picked up on a sale and you didn't know it would be for you, but you got it anyway and you ended up loving it? Much love as always, guys. Take care. Let me tell everyone a little tale about Kai hearing about this game. Everyone's loving it. I was like, there's no way this game could be good. And he totally got sucked in and can't wait for the sequel. Power Wash Simulator is thank you, Silcanet, for being on the same wavelength. Power Wash Simulator is incredible. It scratches an itch that I didn't know needed to be scratched. Just cleaning up these dirty areas with a power washer is fantastic. The DLC
is the Steam summer sale over? Sorry.
No, it's still going on. I'm looking at it right now.
I think it's until the 10th, I think. Maybe.
Oh, there it is. I had to refresh. Don't worry about me.
But yeah, Power Wash Simulator was an easy one, and I can't wait for the sequel.
Yeah, that's a good one. Dang, what is it? What I played on sale? It was technically maybe Dead Cells. Technically, maybe. I mean, technically, I bought Vampire Survivors on a sale. Does that count?
Sure.
But can I tell you a cheat? Can I tell you a cheat though? Because Nintendo now does a summer sale where you can get their games cheapest they could do, $41. And I was like, okay, I'm deep into the Switch 2 right now. I want a Mario game. I don't know which one I want. I'm leaning towards what's it? Mario Kart 3D World plus Bowser's Story, whatever. And it was like $40. I was like, you know what? Got a car ride I'm gonna be on. I really like that game on DS. I'm gonna play the DLC on the ride. I went to download it or buy it, and all it did was give me the option to download it. So I got that game for free.
For what game is this?
Nintendo. For Nintendo Switch 2, the Mario what is it? Shit, I just literally said it. Mario 3D World and Bowser's like Inside Story or something like that. But yeah, so that I got for free.
Did you maybe already buy it on Switch 1 and totally forgot about it?
I'm gonna say for the sake of Nintendo, yes.
Okay.
Don't sue me, but I'm also not sure. So yeah, there you go.
I think I bought Stardew on a sale the first time because I had seen
pick.
people playing it, heard a lot of people talking about it. I was like, that looks cute, but I've never really played a farming sim. Like I played The Sims, but like more so the building side of things. So I wasn't sure. And I think I bought that on a sale and I loved it. I don't think it was Steam sale. I think it was I bought it on console first. But I think I got it on sale on console. So I'm gonna count it.
That said, Mass Effect Legendary Edition $5.99.
Listen,
Thinking of my triple dip.
This Steam sale, Steam is a wild place.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just like, what's on the front page of the Steam summer sale? Let me just see if there's anything on there. And there's some good stuff out there for sure.
Mhm.
Then I see a game called Kindergarten 3. It's like, what is this game about? Kindergarten 3 is the long-awaited threequel to the Kindergarten series. Explore a new school with old and new friends and new ways to get ruthlessly murdered.
What the?
What?
Yeah, dude.
So that's why I like the PSN.
Yeah.
So much
That's
more.
the gif of a janitor just stabbing a kindergartner, it looks like, on the playground. What is this game?
Jesus. And Gabe's like, whatever. It's fine.
Yeah, dude.
Well, listen, gang, we're going to end on that note. That's been the Trophy Room. Anything you'd like to spotlight before we get out of here, Mr. Kyle Stevenson?
Sure, you can find me everywhere. Mr. K-Step. Go tell somebody you love them, appreciate their work, especially now more than ever. Right. It means the world to them, and you get a little serotonin boost as well. So please go do that. If you want to know about the indie game stuff, go check out 61indie.com. Showcase submissions end in 5 days or so. We got some bangers on it for our September show, so be on the lookout for that. And then lastly, I guested on friend of the show, Marcus O'Neill's Fantasy Games Critic podcast called Hype Factor. Am I getting that correct? Yeah, Hype Factor. It's been a week, y'all. And had a lot of fun. And if you want to know how I approach Fantasy Critic, which we probably should do an update on ours and how that's going.
I haven't opened that in months. So
like what I like to do is just accuse Kyle of cheating, which he's been doing plenty of this year.
I have not. What are you talking about?
He's just the only one actually updating his roster.
Yeah.
I haven't even even opened the app. I couldn't tell you what's going on over there.
I think next time around.
Do you want me to tell you the bad news?
Oh, I'm probably losing by a lot.
You have mind's eye.
No.
What if we do it by quarters?
What do you mean do it by quarters? What do you mean?
Like quarterly, like every 3 months, this is our Fantasy Critic. Or does it have to be a year?
It has to be a year. That's
okay.
An option kind of thing. Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Anyway, so Kyle's cheating aside, anything you'd like to highlight before we get on out of here?
Follow me on Lightweight Gaming for all of your gaming needs. I'm almost done with my Black Flag Let's Play series, so my pre-recorded videos. I'm also streaming Claire Obscure on Mondays and Fridays. And I'm going to be doing a new thing. Funny, we were talking about reviews. I'm going to be rolling out a new thing on the channel, so I don't want to say spoilers yet because I have to work out the details. But definitely subscribe over there if you're interested in contributing to gaming reviews. And then also, if you like movies and TV shows, you can follow me over on Lightweight Reacting. I most recently reacted to, what's my last one that went up? the finale of The Pacific, episode 10, went up
Oh,
today.
okay.
And then before that was Full Metal Jacket. And I've got
Nice.
some fun stuff coming up. So
God, Full Metal Jacket's so good. Oh my God. That's
So good.
great. You watched a movie I never watched, which is Airplane. And everybody.
Oh, you would
Whoa.
like that.
Yeah.
Airplane's great. I've never seen Full Metal Jacket.
It's heavy, but it's good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's very heavy, but it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I watched that when I was way too young.
Mm.
I thought my uncle was the coolest for letting me watch it. Oh, he got in trouble. You can find me over on Blue Sky at Mr. Badbit, the show at PS Trophy Room on Blue Sky as well. You can follow this show if you really, really liked us, and I don't see why you wouldn't hit that like, share, subscribe over on YouTube. Hit us with a 5-star review over on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. I was talking to the winner of our Death Stranding giveaway earlier in the weekend, and then sorry, I completely ghosted him because I just got lost in the sauce that was Death Stranding. It literally occurred to me this episode. But yeah, no, it's awesome to see another fellow teacher get a W. You know, much
Hey.
needed. That said, everybody, if you really, really like us, please consider dropping us a buck our way over at patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. You can really use that. It helps keep the show running. But with all that said, with all that out of the way, everybody, we love you all. Keep your wits about you, keep hunting, and keep playing PlayStation.
Bye.
Bye. This is just for video.